Hello, Tidal Waste coaches. I just want to show you how to use the Club Assistant to enter the meet lineup for each swim meet. So the first thing is that I've given you all a login name and password. And when you use the club name, you're going to go ahead and use swim phone with a capital S and a capital P. Once you're in there, you're going to see that we have all of the swim meets listed for this season. And for the meet that's coming up next, which is the Moreno Valley versus Tidal Waves meet on May 18th, you'll see that there's a couple options here. The first one is for the girls meet roster. The second is boys. And then there's individual event. So those are the ones that we're going to be really looking at. We'll talk about relays in a minute. The girls meet roster, if you click on that, what that's going to allow you to do is choose who goes in the meet roster and who is not in the meet roster. As you can see, they've been identified. If they are attending the meet and they declared that online through our system, then they are in the meet roster. If they are not attending, then they don't have anything listed there and they're not in the meet roster. So what that does is it makes sure that there isn't a kid listed on your lineup sheet that's not coming to the meet. So now if I go back to the page that I was on, the next thing that you could do is you could do the individual events page. And what that's going to do is take you to, first of all, it'll take you immediately to the 6 and under girls. And you can see that I've already filled this in with every single kid is going to swim the freestyle and every single kid is going to swim the backstroke. That's because in the 6 and unders, there's only 2 events to do, and you're allowed to do 3 individual events. So these kids can all swim every event, so that one's really easy to do. All we have to do for the 6 and unders is fill in the relays, and I'll talk about that in just a second. So let's take a look at the 7-8 roster, which is a little bit more complicated. These are the events for the 7-8s. You got the 25 free, 25 fly, 25 back, 50 free, 100 IM, and 25 breast. Those are the 6 individual events. For the individual events, the league rules are that you can only do 3 individual events. That's the maximum. If you want to, you can put them in 2 individual events and 2 relays, but no matter what, no swimmer is allowed to have more than 4 events altogether. We're doing this on the right-hand side. It'll keep track of how many they have total in the event, and it can never be more than 4 on this right-hand side. The bottom, it'll keep track of the total number of kids entered into an event. Just kind of take a look at that and make sure that you don't max out an event with too many, because then we'll have so many heats, we're going to be there all night long. What I like to do when I make a meet lineup is, rather than doing it here on the computer, what I would like to do is I'd like to print this thing out. So they have a print preview button, and then you can just go ahead and hit Control P on your computer. It'll pop up a thing that you can go ahead and print this page out for yourself, and then fill it in with a pencil. And you can go ahead and make changes and figure out what you're going to do. And then you can come back onto the computer and go ahead and enter these into the computer. So just wanted to show you that that option is available for you, that you can print out the meet lineup. And these kids are the ones that we have said in the meet roster are attending the meet. So you know for sure that they're going to be there. So one of the rules that we have for just tidal waves is that, if you think about ASO, you want to make sure everybody gets to play. So let's make sure that every kid has 3 events. You might, every once in a while, you might give a kid only 2 events, but if you think about it, there's really no reason why we can't give a kid at least 3 events. And then as a side, let's just make sure that let's not put every single kid in the 100 IM. Again, if you do that, then we're going to be there all night long. You might want to keep in mind we're going to run 10 lanes. So in general, there's going to be 5 from our team in an event. So if you use numbers like 10 and 5 and 15, then you know that you're only going to limit yourself to about 3 heats. Of course, the other team might not fill the rest of their event, so then we could have a few more people in an event. But just kind of keep that in mind. So let's say that you've gone ahead and you've filled out that paper that I talked about and you're ready to fill in these meets. What you can do to enter a kid into the race on the computer is you can click in the box. Now, clicking in the box opens up another window, and that window, what it does is it allows you to pick the kid's best time. Now, you'll notice that for this event, you'll see what the best times are for that kid. And you can, if you want to enter somebody into an event, all you have to do is you click on the best time right there, and now they're entered in the event. Just hit submit, and then it'll come back to this page, and you'll see that there's a time listed for that person now. The total event number has gone up to 1. So if I put this person in the 100 fly also, the event total would go up to 2. And you'll notice that for Peyton, I've got her in the 25 free, the 25 fly, and the 50 free. And now she's in 3 individual events. Remember, league rules, they can only have 3 individual events. So now you have, if you want to, you can use Peyton for one of the relays. Okay, so you're going to do that for every single kid. Another way to enter the individual events, if you don't want to do it this way that I just showed you, instead you could go ahead and just click on an individual person. So if you click on one of the people, it's going to open up a window where it just has, for this one individual person, okay, I've decided that for her, and this is where maybe if you filled out that piece of paper that I talked about, you can go ahead and just click in there. Okay, she's doing the 25 fly, she's doing the 50 free, and she's going to do the 25 breast. And then you submit. And when it'll take you back to the other page, and now you've got Bella in these 3 events, and I previously put Peyton in these events. And if you want to, you can also erase all of what I just did. Either you can click on the one individual event and erase that thing by hitting the delete button. So let's talk now about relays. Relays in our league are a little bit strange. So in our league, you're supposed to have, for every relay, 2 boys and 2 girls. And that's the league rule. You must have 2 boys and 2 girls. On our team, that should not be a problem. We should be able to easily get 2 boys and 2 girls on every team, except for we're probably gonna have a little trouble with the 15-18s unless we pick up a few more 15-18 girls. So the 2 girls and 2 boys rule is a little bit flexible. You're allowed to use 3 girls or 4 girls if there are not enough boys. But that does not go the other direction. You can't use 4 boys on a relay. Otherwise, it will not count for scoring. So in order to do a relay, you should need to put 2 boys and 2 girls on it. Even if the best 4 kids on the team are all girls, you have to have 2 boys and 2 girls. So when you click on the box for a relay, the Medley Relay, let's say, for example, you're going to get this window that pops open right here. And you'll see that it has, first of all, you need to enter the relay in there. And then you're going to click a time. There's no time listed because we haven't done any this year, any relays. And then you're just going to go ahead and put the swimmers in there. You only need to put the 4 swimmers. You don't need to put any alternates, but you do have that capability of putting alternates. And you'll see that the boys and the girls are capable of being selected. And then you can go ahead and enter a B relay and a C relay and a D and an E. The most number of relays that we want you to submit are just the 5, A, B, C, D, and E, because we want to keep the meet relays into one heat. So because we're running 10 lanes, we're allowed to put 5 relays, and that's it. The other team can put 5 relays also. Once you've done all your relays, all you do is hit submit, and it will record those. I'm not going to do that in this case because I don't want to put a kid into a race. But if you did put a kid in there, then it would have A1, A2, and then maybe for the boys, it'll say A3 and A4. Keep in mind on the Medley Relay that the order is back, breast, fly, and free. And you have to indicate that the first person is the backstroker, the second person is the breaststroker, the third person is the flyer, and the last person is freestyle. If you do not do that, then the kid is going to be swimming a different stroke. So you need to make sure and enter, if you want somebody to do the backstroke, put them as the first one on the Medley Relay. For the last relay, you do pick the order, who goes first, second, third, and fourth. The stagers will put them in that order. So if you want somebody to go last, then put them as the 4th swimmer. When you're filling out your entries page, it might be helpful for you to see all the best times of the season. So one way you could do that is you can go to reports and then go to swimphone.com best entries. What that's going to show is a big report of all of the best times by event. You'll notice that like some kids don't have a 25 free. That's because they're older and they don't swim the 25 free or the 25 back. They just do the 50s. So I imagine that you guys are going to be dividing this up, and some like one of you is going to maybe do the 7/8s, and one of you is going to do the 9/10s, or maybe you're going to work together and figure out the 7/8s or the 9/10s. No matter what, whoever does it, it has to be done by my entry close time. Now you'll notice that what I've done is I've put an entry close time of May 15th at midnight. And the reason that I do that is because on the 16th, I'm going to receive the entries from the other team. And then I have to take the entries from the other team and mix them with ours and assign every single one of these kids into a heat and lane and put the meet all together. So I need a day to do that. Then on the next day, which would be the 17th, I've got to get that all printed out onto the labels and hand that off to our volunteer, who then takes those labels and puts them onto those green cards and then puts them in order of the events. So there's kind of a lot of process that has to happen after you guys are done with your entries. So it's very important that you get your entries done by that entry close time. If you have any trouble with anything, just please let me know and I'll be happy to assist you. Thank you so much, and have fun.